have already heard how wonderful Pinterest can be for getting your stuff out there online. How you can create pins that direct traffic to your blog or other content that you have online and get your stuff out there and noticed and seen. But there's a lot of stuff on Pinterest. There are so many beautiful images on there. So how do you make your images stand out? Well, if you haven't noticed, recently Pinterest has started rolling out video pins. And so I spent a bit of time doing some experiments, trying out some different styles of video pins to see how they went. Because this is fairly new, personally, I noticed that as I scrolled through my feed, the video pins really stood out because they automatically played and everything else is static. And there's this pin that moves, it's got action going on, and so it really stands out. So I've tried a few different things and I've started to find what kind of video pins really do well. And the ones that do well actually do really well. They really get a lot of views and a lot of clicks and a lot of shares. And because this is a new thing, it really stands out at the moment. Over time, maybe it might not have quite the same effect. But creating video pins is a way of creating pins that stand out and are a little bit different and new. And even if they start to become more and more popular, it still is another alternative. So you can have your static pins that are just images, and then you could have video pins as well, and you can test out different types of pins and see what works better. So because it's something fairly new, I wanted to share in this video how to create simple video pins that will help get you noticed. Now, they don't have to be complicated. In fact, I've created a tutorial that just uses Keynote. And of course, if you've got PowerPoint, you could do the same sort of thing in that. But all you need is that simple slideshow software. You don't need fancy animating tools and video software to do this. You can really whip it up quite quickly, really, and create something that's noticeable and is going to stand out. So let's have a look at how to do it. All right, so you come into Keynote and you start a new file. And then just select a basic white presentation. Then you go over to document, and under slide size you go to custom slide size. And here we're going to change it to a Pinterest friendly size. So we're going to make it 1200 pixels by 1800 pixels. Now we have our document ready to go. So now you can start putting in the text. Simply go to the format button and then you can pick the right fonts for your branding. And also in that format section you also have the choices of changing colours, changing sizes and other various formatting things so you can make it look really nice. And then a little tip, if you want to make your text more spaced out, all you have to do is click on the little gear icon and then you'll see it says character spacing and the little percentage, and you just increase that to increase the spacing. So you can really make a nice typography layout. Now if you put your website down the bottom, it may try to make it a link, so just right click and remove so that it won't be a link anymore. Next step, we want to add some images. So you'll see a media button up the top. You can either click photos if you've got images in your photo files, or if you want something that's just in one of your folders, just click the choose button and then you can easily just find a nice image. Now you can easily resize and move around the photo, and you can also realign it. So I'll go click center back if you want to put it behind all the text. So play around with the layout, make it unique, be creative and create something really beautiful. Alright, so you've got your layout, now it's time to animate. So we go on to the animate button and you select one of your objects. So at the moment we've got the image selected, and you click add effects. So we can play around with some effects. So you can try out different things. You can change the duration to speed things up, slow things down. Just try out a few different things. Just click that change button to try out different effects and choose something that feels right to you. Obviously you don't want something too silly or fancy. You want to keep it fairly simple. because we don't want it to look too gimmicky. We want it to look really elegant and nice and make it appropriate to your branding. So play around and find what you think looks best. Then we apply effects to all the other elements. So now we're adding effects to the text. Now remember, you don't want this to look too silly, so keep it simple. Things like the dissolve ones, just really simple animations. You don't want it to, look too silly and gimmicky again. Alright, now we click on build order. So at the top it says build in and we click build order. So this is arranging the order of the animation. So what we want to happen, because we don't want one thing to happen then another, and we don't want it to be on click, we want to make sure it's with build. So make sure that everything you choose with build so that they all happen at once. And then it's got a delay there. So if you want something to happen just a tiny bit after, so maybe you've got that image coming down, and then as it comes down, maybe 1 second in, then you want the text to appear, just add that delay so it's not waiting till the end of that animation, but it's just delaying it just a little bit so it's happening halfway through that first animation. So we want things to really flow nicely so it's quick. We don't want people feeling like it's dragging out and they lose interest. We want something fast. Ideally you want to aim for around 6 to 8 seconds all up for the whole animation, so fairly short. But at the same time, I found Pinterest does have a limit. I think it was 4 or 6 seconds, I can't remember. But if you get an error when you try to upload saying it's too short, then you need to make it just a little bit longer. But I found around the 6 second mark is kind of ideal. Okay, now we're going to File, Export to Movie, and this is where we're going to make it into a movie file. Don't worry too much about all the seconds business, because that's not important for this. We just want to make sure that the resolution is correct. So make sure you click that real high resolution. Then choose where you want to save onto your computer. But one more quick step before we upload it to Pinterest. So the file it creates is a MOV file, and we want it to be an MP4 because Pinterest doesn't want to upload MOV files, it wants an MP4. So I'm using cloudconvert.com/mov-2-mp4. All I really did was just Google MOV to MP4, and this is pretty much the first thing that came up. So really just Google it and you'll find something quite easily to do that. So you select your file and then click on the Start Conversion. Make sure that it was set to MP4 over here, and then it will convert it for you. Once it's done, all you have to do is click the download button and save it, and then you're ready to go. So now you're in Pinterest and you can upload your pin. So you just click that little plus sign and then you upload your pin, and you just do it like any other pin. And if it comes up with any errors, it's usually because the file just needs to be a little bit longer or whatever. But just upload your file, and you will notice that it doesn't become public straight away. They have to audit it before you actually goes live. So don't freak out that takes a little while. I usually find overnight and then it's live. So have fun with this, play with the different ideas, try things out, and create something eye-catching and fun for your audience. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and have fun experimenting and trying to make out some video pins to start getting you noticed on Pinterest and get your content seen. And don't forget, if you want to learn more tips on graphic design, branding and creativity, then be sure to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time.